A car. A sudden odd bounce. And in seconds, the road buckles, opens up, and swallows a driver whole. What happened at Tanjong Katong wasn't just a freak accident, it was a nightmare that nearly turned fatal. Almost half a year after the sinkhole incident along Tanjong Katong Road South, the woman who fell in has finally spoken up, and her story is seriously chilling. Her name is Palin Lim, 43 years old, and she says the one thought that kept her alive, in that dark hole under the road, was her daughter. This happened on the 26th of July, 2025. That afternoon, Palin had just sent her friends home and was driving back. At around 5:50 p.m., she reached a junction in Tanjong Katong when a migrant worker held up a stop sign, warning drivers. Once she moved off, she felt something strange, like the car bounced oddly. Then she heard people shouting, "Stop! Stop!" She slammed the brakes, but it was already too late. The road around her began to buckle. The ground cracked open, and in a terrifying moment, the hole reached her car. Her black Mazda dropped straight in. Palin described the whole thing as surreal, like she couldn't believe it was real. But it got worse. Her car kept sinking until it finally landed upside down, about 3 meters below the surface. Imagine hanging upside down in a car, underground, with debris still falling. She said it was dark, so she switched on her phone torch just to see what was happening. Water was pouring in through a crack in the windscreen. Pieces of rubble were still dropping around her. And she knew one thing: if she didn't get out immediately, she might not make it. She opened the door. She unbuckled her seat belt. But then, she realized both her feet were stuck, trapped under the pedal in the seat. For a moment, she froze in shock. She said for a split second, she felt like giving up. But then, the thought of a 13-year-old daughter hit her hard. She kept thinking, "Please, God, don't leave my daughter alone in this world." And that's what snapped her back. She fought her way free, pulled her feet out, climbed out of the car, and looked up. Above her, people were screaming. Some were trying to help. But one man stood out. A migrant worker. While others panicked, he stayed calm. He leaned down into the sinkhole, half his body inside, and shouted for Palin to come towards him. He kept guiding her step by step, telling her where to climb through the debris. Then, at the right moment, he told her to jump. He reached down, grabbed her hand, and pulled her out. Palin said she was incredibly thankful to him. And videos online later showed workers working together, using their combined strength to haul her to safety. After she got out, she turned back and saw her car sinking deeper, disappearing under the surface. She later said something that really makes your stomach drop: if she had been in that sinkhole just a few minutes longer, she would have drowned. And she added, if there had been more cars, more people, the outcome could have been much worse. The first thing she did after getting rescued was borrow someone's phone and call her daughter, Anya. When they reunited in the hospital, her daughter hugged her tightly and gave her a note addressed to Mama, writing down her feelings about what had happened. Her daughter even wiped dirt off her mother's body and joked that she was famous now. And in that moment, they laughed and cried at the same time. But the trauma didn't end there. Palin revealed she has been in therapy since the incident. She's also been taking anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication. She gets anxiety attacks when triggered, things like cracks, thunder, being underground, or even being inside a car. Still, she says she has been coping by facing her fears, leaning on friends and family, and drawing strength from her faith. She's now on the road to recovery and has even returned to work at a French advertising agency. And today, she says she is not bitter. In fact, she felt the incident gave her a fast break because she was having a very hard time in the months before. That was also why she decided to speak up now, after declining interviews earlier. Now here's a question for you. When you think about how sudden this happened, a road giving way without warning, do you feel safe driving on Singapore roads, or do you think more must be done to prevent disasters like this? If you found this story eye-opening, help us spread the word. Like, share, and subscribe to 2230 so you never miss the stories that matter in Singapore.